everybody, it's Safi and Marco, dish out on the movies. But today, what are we going to talk about? The next episode of Better Call Saul.
Why don't you scoot closer, Safi?
Called Rock Between a Rock or Just a Rock and a Hard Place. It's episode number 3. And we suspected it would be, and the title is very apropos for what happened in the episode. And actually, we are not, I can only speak for myself, but I think Marco feels the same way. We're not very surprised at the outcome. Maybe the way the outcome happened, but the outcome in total is not surprising.
Out of all the things that I thought that they would do, I didn't think that they'd do like the stupidest shit I could think of. Like, just if I could like think of all the outcomes that could have happened in this episode, like, I think this one I probably never would have come up with, because I don't when I write things, I don't write trash. So, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but I mean, this is really bad. Like, this is probably one of the worst television episodes I've ever seen, and it's really a disgrace to Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and it's really bad. Like, it's really, really bad. And you know, you have the typical fanboys who all give it 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And it's funny because, like, you'd think that all these fanboys, you'd think that they'd have higher expectations for this show. Like, you'd think that all these fanboys would actually care and that they'd actually want to see a good episode of television. But it seems like they'll just settle for any shit they're given, because that's all this was. It was just a giant pile of rushed, cop-out bullshit, and it's really bad. Safi, so what do you think about it, Safi? I mean, let's see what you have to say, fucking fanboy, pirate fanboy.
I was so disappointed by what happened in the end, even though I expected something negative to happen, but not the way it happened, but I couldn't even think about the rest of the episode because I knew we knew what was going to happen. I mean, it couldn't go on. Nacho running away from everybody.
Really, Safi?
We know it wouldn't have lasted forever.
Really?
We're going to drag the entire season every week. Nacho goes and hides in a railroad car.
Safi, they've been dragging out Nacho's storyline for 4 seasons now.
Well, it's over now.
Well,
unless they do some kind of flashback thing. I don't know.
Maybe they could have his father break bad. His father could.
I don't think so.
He could become Gus's bitch too, just like this little bitch Nacho.
Well, he turned out not to be. In the end, he was his own person.
Really?
He died the way he wanted to.
I think so. He did what Gus wanted him to do.
No, he did. He did partly what he said, but he also added his own. Everything he said, I believed him. I mean, if it were a real character, he hated those people. And remember, he did do the heart medication thing. He admitted to that, and he said he wasn't sorry. He didn't have to say Gus didn't know he would do that. Gus didn't know he would do that.
Why does it matter? Like, who cares? Like, so what? He said a line. Like, wow, that's great storytelling. What about show not tell? You ever heard of that, Safi?
Whatever. I don't know.
Show not tell.
Okay, well, I don't know what you want from me. I have my own opinion.
Well, you're acting. It
was
like,
hard for me to.
He did this amazing thing by saying he did something seasons ago, and it's like, why don't you show and not tell, you fucking lazy asses?
I don't understand what he would have done to show.
Show not tell. That's what That's what storytelling is,
Yes,
Safi.
I know that.
You know, like that 5-minute opening, pretentious,
With the
egotistical sequence with just like showing shots of the ground, like we're fucking
I
making
know.
a
I'm like,
Blair Witch Desert Project or something.
there was a few things I just didn't understand, but I lost track of
Oh,
them
that's
because of
the
the end,
place
which
where
kind
he
of threw
died.
me. Yeah, I know it was.
That's
You find that
you know,
out
it's like,
because
ooh,
it was a foreshadowing.
oh wow.
But I mean, I suspected that too.
Yeah, you know what that reminded me of?
No.
Hannibal season 3, the slugs. Remember
Ah,
the slug shots? If you guys don't know, in Hannibal season 3, the showrunner Brian Fuller got full of himself,
oh, he
and
sure did.
he ruined the entire show, and he fucked everything. And one of the things that he ruined, one of the one of the things that he ruined was he made this whole episode that was basically probably one of the worst TV episodes of all time.
And he got fired right after that.
And it's funny because it was also an episode 3. And so I don't know, that's pretty weird. And basically the whole episode there was hardly any dialogue. It was boring, nothing happened, but it was just this hour-long pretentious like art shots of like slugs and fireflies, and it was the stupidest shit I've ever seen. But honestly, this episode's really bad. Like it opens up with this, really pretentious, pointless. There's just so many colorful words I could use to describe it. But I just don't feel like wasting the energy on doing that. But
Well, they seem to do that quite often because it reminds me of when they took a picture of. Remember when
yeah, they've done
Saul
it before.
dropped the ice cream on the ground?
They've done it
They
before,
showed that.
and they've done it better. So, this time wasn't anything special. That's why I don't know why people are giving this terrible fucking episode a 10 out of 10.
Well, another thing, I did not understand what Huel did with
Huel. Well, we'll talk about that. Might as well not even talk about that. I mean,
there's just a few things in there. I just didn't understand what they were doing and why they were doing it.
But like, Safi, what's the point in talking about Saul? What's the point in talking about Jimmy? Because that's not what the show is about anymore. The show is about Breaking Bad. And it's also about these lazy ass writers getting everything done and over with so that they can make something inferior to this show in seasons 1 through 3. That's what this is about. And so we start off, Safi. Now I need you to wake up.
I'm awake.
You're not that awake.
Well, it is the end of the day, and I did get up extremely early.
Well,
but I'm fine. I still have to go and get something that I sold.
You would think that this terrible, awful, horrible episode would have waken you up.
No, I just kind of like,
It's kind of like, I expect trash from these trash writers now. Like, I shouldn't have expected anything good. I shouldn't have had any hopes for some sort of redemption in this trash show. And I'm saying that because, seasons 1 through 3 to me are like a different show altogether. And then seasons 4 through 6 is like, kind of like in season 1 when Jimmy digs through the garbage. And he digs through the garbage, and, this is kind of like some of the garbage that he digs through. So it starts off with, you got Nacho, the little bitch Nacho, and he's running around, he's just, it's just the same old thing. Like, he's running there, he's running here, he does some stuff, and it's pretty boring. Like, nothing really happens at all. But then he makes a call to his dad, and it's really funny because, well, Safi already kind of ruined it for me by saying little things before I even watched the episode. And, but Nacho talked to his dad, and it was like one of those typical cliche things where, like, oh, this is the last time those two characters are going to speak. And I thought, oh, maybe they'll kill his dad. But no, they're going to kill him because that's the more unexpected thing to do. And so they had this really long pause where they're talking, and it's like, oh, wow, this is such great writing because they're having this long pause for dramatic effect. And I feel so much for these stupid characters. I mean, these characters are some of the stupidest characters I've ever seen. Supposed hardened criminals, more like hardened retards. And so then, you'd think that. I mean, I thought, I guess I should have lowered my expectations to like, I don't know, to like nothing, to like below zero, like somewhere I can't even describe. Like I don't understand what's going on with these bad writers. Uh, but I expected for Nacho to have to make a really hard journey through Mexico all by himself. I thought it was going to be really good. I thought that Mike was going to go there. I thought it was going to be a really epic adventure journey. I thought we were going to encounter some new characters, some new criminal characters, or something, like something interesting, instead of just like fan service, which was what this episode was. And instead, oh no, of course not. It's, what happens, Safi? He gets out of Mexico in like 2 seconds. And it's like, oh wow, that was really hard. He didn't even have any problems. Wow, that's really fun. Ha ha ha. Wow, this is such great writing. 10 out of 10. Right? Right, Safi? I mean, what do you think? I mean, Safi, this is fucking stupid. He gets out of Mexico in 2 seconds? Really?
Basically, I thought he was still in Mexico. That's
What?
what I said. I was so confused about what was going on.
No, they took him out of Mexico, and then they took him back to Mexico, and then somehow they got Hector out of the retirement home.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't understand. I thought, are they jumping back in time?
No, Safi, what the fuck?
So they got to take him out of the.
Yeah.
Well, that can happen. That's not unrealistic.
Yeah, so they could have their little fan service moment with all the characters like standing together, like it's I don't know, it's so bad. But Safi, he gets out of Mexico in 2 seconds. I mean, what's up with that?
I don't know. I mean, I thought, like you said, I thought he was going to be able to get away, and he would just go, and it's almost like, I don't know. It's like, why do they have to write this?
It was rushed. It's rushed.
It was like, why do they have to write this specific thing where both sides wanted him to be dead? And I'm like, why? Why? Really? He has to die to let Gus look like he's innocent? And they know better.
I know.
Even though he said
so
all that big,
stupid.
even though he had that speech, and I think if this was a real character and talking, I mean he would have meant it, and he wasn't lying, and he was telling, and he just was letting it all hang out because he was sick of pretending, which he's been doing all this time. And you know what's interesting? They had all these people there. Where was Eladio or
Eladio?
whatever his name is?
Oh yeah, where was he?
I thought he would be part of it.
Oh, I guess not. I guess he's just.
I mean, that's why they were all upset to begin with anyway.
Oh wait, no, he has to pretend that he's dead. Remember, they want Gus to think that he's dead.
Yeah, but he's not dead, and Gus knows better because Gus is smart. No, Gus said so.
I don't know.
He said that.
You didn't say that to them though.
No, he said it to Mike and whoever those other people are. So, I see now. I just thought of that too.
I know.
That guy wasn't there. Well, nobody. Well, no. Then I guess Gus would know he's alive, and they don't know that Gus knows he's alive because they think Gus is stupider than he is. Well, he is stupid because of hiring those incompetent people, but they don't know that he knows that he's live. And,
Well,
I don't understand what is the big deal. They let him. The other thing, the cops, the prosecuting attorney, they let him go because of some kind of, I don't know, chance or some
they
exception.
let him go. No, they didn't. There was no exception. They let him out on bail.
Oh yeah, okay, and it was a
And so you're jumping ahead, though. You're jumping
I know,
ahead.
but I mean, there's just so many things in the episode. I just lost them. They just kind of like flew out of the window like a bunch of mourning doves flying off.
They just rushed through it, Safi.
And we get to the end, and
then the
like
end
you
is
said,
like,
it's basically it was just about Nacho. Really, for the whole episode, really, I'd say the part with Jimmy and Kim.
Oh, there was Jimmy and Kim in this episode?
Maybe,
really?
How many percent?
Like 5%.
Well, I was going to say 20 maybe. But, that's probably stretching it.
So Nacho gets out of Mexico, which was just really, really bad.
After having to hide in that rail car and those twins come and
Like,
they're looking for him.
He's going to go on this, like, really incredible journey.
I was hoping too.
He's going to have, like, a really good journey, and it's going to lead him back to America. And because the thing is that, well, okay, we'll get to that at the end, because it's almost like you can predict everything that's going to happen. It's like nothing, there's no stakes at all. There's no stakes at all, because at the end, whatever way, it's terrible.
Well,
it's
he's going to die somehow.
You know that these writers are so bad that they're going to kill off this character.
And I'm like, why do they have to? Why does he have to die? To show that Gus is to show a pretend thing that Gus is not really against them. And that older guy, Hector, he knows better. He's not a dummy.
Yeah.
And what can they do? Nothing. And Gus thinks, oh, well, I'm sitting pretty because they didn't figure it out. And then that guy just took care of himself for me. I don't have to kill him. I don't know. It's a shame. A real shame. Because they have the storyline. They show him going everywhere, and he talks to this gas station guy, and what happens is he was in that rail car, and I guess it was just awfully stinky and gross, and he had to really hide from those twins who are like, all they have is murder on their mind.
They should really just be called the Cameo Brothers, because
I think they should be called the Murder Brothers.
They should be called the Cameo Brothers, because nothing's going to happen to them because they die in Breaking Bad, and that they can't really hurt certain characters because they die in other ways, and so it's like they're basically just glorified cameo people, like glorified cameos. And so let's go back to the schedule, and so let's talk about this trash episode while you're falling asleep.
I know, but I'm sitting in this chair. It's a
So
lot different than the new one I got.
So Nacho is back. He's in America, and the first thing they do is they like beat him up because they want to make it look like they don't like him, and so they beat him up because he's their prisoner and they don't like him, and
but
blah
they
blah
don't
blah.
show it at all, which surprised me.
They don't show it, and
Not one
I
bit.
thought they were gonna like fake his death or something. I mean, I thought that was kind of weird.
That would have been a good thing to do too. That's what I'm saying. Why does it have to follow this prescription?
Yeah, I just thought
It's like a prescription for a medication or something.
Literally anything else besides what they did would have been better. Like anything. Like if he met like a magic turtle in the middle of the desert and the turtle flew away with him and gave him like magical superpowers, that would have been a better show than this shit. So
don't know.
And so then he's back from Mexico, and they don't give a fuck about him because they're trash. You have these trash characters. You got Mike, the gloomy insure drinker, and then you got Gus, the fucking
Darth Vader.
evil. He's like,
I don't get him at all. He's just evil.
They've just
he is evil.
ruined these characters so badly that it's just like, why even care about any of this anymore? Like they've just destroyed these characters beyond recognition. Even though they're the same people who talk all the time about how their method is perfect because they don't overstay their welcome. Like they've destroyed these characters beyond recognition. And so they have this plan where Nacho's going to confess and then he's going to die.
But he's going to confess that he was working with somebody in Peru.
Yeah.
Which was really
some random guy
weird.
We've never heard of before.
Never heard of, and I guess it's a different cartel in Peru.
Yeah.
And he says he's been working with them for over a year.
It's pretty gay.
But then the rest of it was all him.
It's pretty unlikely.
I mean, that he said he hated these people, and I caused you to have a heart attack. So you'd whatever, you have to go into that nursing home.
Okay, you're jumping ahead again, Safi. Stop ruining the review.
I can't help it.
And so we'll get to that part.
Okay.
I mean, it just
all right, I won't say
it's
word
just
about
delaying the review from happening. And so then after Nacho's back from Mexico, and they do all that stupid ass shit, we're back to Jimmy and Kim. I forgot that they existed on the show that was supposed to be all about them from the beginning. I mean, remember Safi?
Yeah.
Remember season 1?
Mm-hmm.
Remember season 2?
It's supposed to be about him, that's for sure. It's called Better Call Saul.
No, they should just call it Better Call Fan Service, or like Better Call Better Writers or something like that. Remember season 3? Like, it's pretty bad. And so now we're back to Jimmy and Kim, and they've got like this weird like sex thing going on where they get turned on by how they're scamming Howard, and it's like, this is really weird. Like, this is not the show that I signed up for.
Well, I just wish, why are they, I just don't understand why they have to do this with Howard. Why they can't move on.
It's like, oh, this is the only way we can do anything this season because we can't think of anything else to do with 2 lawyer characters. Even though we dedicated... I mean, remember that scene in season 4 finale, that piece of shit season 4 finale, where Kim was taken into that room and it was just full of cases?
Yeah.
Remember that?
She was being punished, right?
It's
she
like...
had to do something with them.
It's like, oh, like, wow, like, I guess there's no other case that exists, so we have to talk about ones that have already happened in past seasons, and we have to, like, make this random shit up with Howard, because that's the only way anything can happen with Jimmy and Kim. And so we have this whole drama with them going on, like this weird, like, Lifetime movie drama. And then Kim goes and she gets interrogated by this woman who says,
it's
like...
with the prosecuting attorney office.
Jimmy has been working with the cartel. And he needs to rat them out.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay. And so then after that waste of time scene, there's like this scam that they're doing with like Huel and a car.
I don't understand what that's about. It's something to do with the car and the key.
They don't show what happens, Safi.
I know. So, I mean...
we don't get to see that yet because they had to have more Nacho storyline.
But they were explaining
more Breaking Bad storylines.
But it was so,
this show is just making me hate Breaking Bad. Like, I kind of wish that Breaking Bad never would have happened, because like it just feels like maybe if it didn't happen, then this show would have been different somehow. Like maybe they would have not done like 3 seasons of fan service bullshit, and they would have written like an actual Better Call Saul show for the 3 seasons, the 3 last seasons. You know, maybe they would have stayed true to the show that they made in seasons 1 through 3, and they wouldn't have transformed the show into Better Call Breaking Bad fan service. It's really bad. And so then uh, Jimmy and Kim talk a little bit, and they're just like, yeah, we talk, blah, 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 and it's done. And Huel talks with Jimmy a little bit,
I
and
thought that was interesting.
that's it. And it's like, yeah, who cares? Let's just go back to the Nacho storyline that nobody
Which
cares
they
about.
did.
And they did, and they go back to this terrible storyline where there's no stakes, nobody cares. It's just like this emotional crybaby fan service crap. And so Nacho is taken to the desert, and he's taken to the Salamanca family, and they're all standing there and waiting.
Except for Ladro or whatever.
Yeah, Mustache Man, he is off world, and he's on the planet Jupiter.
But I have a feeling see, that's another thing I don't understand. I guess they had to do it this way to follow what their plan, but I had a feeling he's going to show up, and I don't know. He's going to show up for Saul. He's going to show up.
No, he's
somewhere.
gonna be in the rest of the season, but I mean, who even cares now? Like, who even cares if Nacho's dead? Like, who cares? Like, who literally cares? There's nothing to care about. Like him living or dying. Although I do think his character is the best character, he doesn't really matter at all. Like, his character is just this energetic villain who you know isn't in Breaking Bad, and so there's not really any stakes to whether his character lives or dies.
Yeah.
There would have been if it was him and Nacho, and so it could have been like a package deal where it could have been an interesting thing where, you know, maybe they go off together and they both disappear and they get to start their own show or something, or they have their own story where they go off together and they start a new life or something. Like, that would have been cool. I would have liked to have seen that. You know, just basically anything over what they did is what I'm saying. And so they're in the desert with the fan service family, and you know that none of them are going to die because they're all in Breaking Bad. And so you know that the only person here who's going to die is Nacho.
Yeah.
And so then he breaks free of his restraints, and he's supposed to kill the head guy, but instead he stands there and gives a very scary speech, and then he kills himself.
That was the surprise.
And it's like, wow, good job. That's what you call a cop-out. That's like the biggest cop-out in series history. Like, between both series, that is the biggest cop-out. So, Safi? What did you think, Safi? I mean...
I don't know. I'm getting really tired, but...
yeah, you know, it's a review, so nobody cares.
The thing is, I was just really shocked that he did that, because, and like he was, and they were saying, pull the trigger. Mike was surveying what was going on. He had a sniper's rifle set up to, I don't know what he was going to do, but in case somebody moved out of place, acted out of place, did whatever, and so you heard him say, okay, Nacho, pull the trigger to get that guy. And then all of a sudden he's got the gun to the guy's head, and then he put it to his own and killed himself.
And
And I'm
that
thinking,
was
even though they wanted him to die,
so
not
fucking stupid.
Gus, you could tell that because he didn't do exactly what Gus wanted him to do, that he wasn't happy, which I thought was F you.
Oh, I thought this whole episode was an FU.
Whatever. It was just.
Whatever.
It's just sad.
It's really bad. Like, the show's so bad now. Like, why? Why is it so bad? It used to be so good. You used to say, like, oh, you should watch Better Call Saul. It's not Breaking Bad, but it's really good. It's really different, and it's a really good show. Go watch it. And now, like, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone, ever. Like, this just makes me not like Breaking Bad, which I didn't know was possible. It makes me not like Better Call Saul. It makes me not want to watch any more Better Call Saul. So this whole episode is just a complete disaster. Like, it's a disaster in every way possible. And to add insult to injury, they have little motor wheelchair Hector shooting the corpse of Nacho.
Oh, yeah.
At the end, and it's
they lifted the wheelchair
cartoony
over to Nacho's body, and gave him a gun, and he shot Nacho. Even he's already dead. Okay, he shot himself in the head, and no matter that, he shoots him over and over and over and over again. I thought that was disgusting.
It's sort of like a metaphor for how the writers have sort of destroyed the entire show by shooting it over and over and over again, even though they already killed it in season 4. So I give this episode a fuck you, F-. What do you give it, Safi?
I'll just give it a C.
Oh.
But really, you know what? I think I'll give it a D.
Yeah, I was going to say I give it a D for the fact that I despise the episode and all the people who made it, all the people who wrote it. But instead, I'll just give it a fuck you.
I should give it an F because they got rid of Nacho was my favorite character. I used to like Saul, but this thing with Kim, I don't like it at all. I don't see the purpose of it.
I will say, I like Kim a lot more as a villain because the writers are so bad that they can't write her good anymore. Like, remember, in season 4, they were still trying to pretend that she was good, and that's why it was bad, was because she looked even worse in season 4 than she does in this season when she's supposed to be evil. And so it's had the opposite effect where, since she's evil now, I actually like her character more. Because she's a lot more likable, and she's a lot more on Jimmy's side. Whereas in season 4, it's like, oh, she's still quote-unquote good, but really she's like really evil, and she doesn't even like Jimmy, her partner. And so I really did not like that. And so I like her character now. And that's one of the things I will say is that, like, I loved all the performances. The acting is not the problem. I'm just talking solely about the writing. The writing is terrible.
Yeah, the acting is good. You can't go against that.
But the writing is a amateur hour. If even that. And I say that, and remember, guys, never mind. I don't even care. It's so bad.
All right. Well, are we done now?
I mean, do you have anything else to say about this F- episode?
I decided I'd give it a D because I just think some of the stuff they did was really stupid and it's inexplicable.
It's rushed.
And
you can feel it's rushed, right?
I suppose.
You notice that he gets back from Mexico 2 seconds, and then he's immediately killed 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
It's like, why even bother? Like, it's just rushed as hell.
Well, it just made me mad because he's my favorite character. And
Well, I liked him in the early seasons, and I continued liking him, but I did not like how he basically stayed the same in seasons 4 and 5. And so I kind of wanted him to have some sort of a character arc and a character journey in season 6. And so I guess that's not going to happen because he's dead now. So they ruined that.
And I think Gus, he's just a jerk.
And that's another thing is, how would Mike ever work for Gus ever again? Like, how would he ever be loyal to Gus after what has happened?
Because he doesn't like what happened. I think he wanted Nacho to get away. And he every time Gus suggested something, or, well, for instance, when he was hiding in Mexico, he got put up in a little motel, and somebody brought him food, and then I guess the twins somehow tracked him down, and he had to run for his life. And he says, "Well, you set me up," and Mike said it wasn't my call. And it's just like, why couldn't Gus give him a break? Why does it have to be this prescribed thing where he has to show that he's dead? Because it's going to benefit him that he's dead. And I mean, why? Really? Does killing him, was that really going to show that you're innocent? And that they should trust you and not really realize that he was working for you. I mean, really? I'm like, why does it have to be, why can't he let him go? Why can't Mike help him leave the country and he goes to Canada, which Marco says in real life, that's where he's really from.
Huh? Who?
Nacho.
I don't know.
I thought you said he was from Canada.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, whatever.
What the fuck?
Whatever. Why couldn't he let him go? Why couldn't he, can't somebody, I know they're drug dealers and there's killing and nobody seems to care, but why can't somebody escape? I mean, they even killed that guy who was German and he wasn't a part of anything. They were just doing that so he wouldn't tell, and they were punishing him too. But
and I will say this is that with Nacho's last speech, he gave a really good performance, and it seemed like, see, this is the Nacho that I would have liked to have seen for the rest of the season. Like, this is the Nacho that was in seasons 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, he was standing up for himself and being strong.
I'll remind the audience, the people who watch the show, this is what they took away from you. You know, you could have had a whole season where Nacho was like this, and they took that away from you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure people knew that, because
it's all gone. What are they going to do now?
It's a different perspective to look at things.
It'll have to be Kim and Jimmy, because I don't know what they're going to do now.
Mustache Man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's not with them.
But he's going to be a big part of it. You know, it's going to be about him. It's going to be about Gus. It's going to be about him. It's going to be about Gus. And it's like, who cares? Like, I don't even care. They ruined that. Like, I was so shocked that they would ruin that whole storyline in this one episode. Episode 3 out of 13.
I mean, they don't even show him this episode, do they?
No.
I mean, not even a glimpse.
They show him in the trailer for next week.
Yeah, I saw that. Whatever. Okay, well, if everybody liked this video, or if anybody liked the video, please press the like button. And, if you'd like to subscribe, come on. Come on down. Join us. You don't have to agree with us. You have your own opinion. You have your own opinions, and you can express them, and tell us what you would have liked them to do with Nacho. Did you want Nacho to die? Do you think that he should have died? Do you think he had to follow this prescription It's like for a strict medication or something. He had to follow this prescription. Yes, he had to die because that would show that Gus was really on their side. He wasn't really going against him, but in the real time, in the real life, yeah, he was working with Gus. But so he had to die because there couldn't be any way to show that he was working for Gus. But I just think that's stupid and lazy. Just like Marco says,
It was
the writers
lazy and
were
rushed. Lazy and
Lazy.
rushed.
Well, so goodbye, everybody, and I hope next week's episode is a lot better than this one.
I don't even care anymore. They ruined it.
Well,
Bye bye.
bye.